We live in a society that is complacent. The rich tower over the rest with their billboards telling us to consume. Our view of the clouds commercialised. Religious fanatics desperately try to reach out pamphlets. The people worship their Starbucks Frappuccino instead of the Lord Jesus. McDonald's is fast and cheap, but out of control. It feeds the masses slop like they are cattle, including myself. Some people can't sit down without being held hostage to their screen. Even some people's legs don't work unless they are on their phone. We are less aware of the material world than we ever have been. Simple tasks have become a struggle. Fears of a potential dystopia are ridiculous because we are already in one. We don't acknowledge the big questions hanging over our heads. Maybe it's time we did. Instant gratification is the most popular drug in the world, and the billionaires are the ones pushing it. Never before have corporations had this much control over our lives. And what do they do with that control? They keep us comfortable, enough to never revolt. And while the material consequences of this are devastating, the effect of this perpetual stimulation is also destroying our minds. I know this from experience. Boy, was I cooked. I knew something had to change. I was no longer living, but instead just existing to consume. How does one reject an instinct that is slowly killing them? My gut told me to follow nature. I pondered, what's the opposite of the doom scroll? What is the furthest thing from a Big Mac meal? What will cleanse my mind of rot and bring me back to life? The answer? Fishing. I asked my dad, who is a fishing expert, to help me. We set up the rods and put the bait boat out into the water to lure some carp towards us. Once that was done, it was a waiting game. I started smoking rolled tobacco instead of vaping so that I could experience a greater sense of delayed gratification. It might not have been better for my health, but it really was more satisfying. I had hope that I would catch something. However, all I did was tear the wig off the creature from the Black Lagoon.
So Rab, how did your fishing go? It's a shit day, man. It really was. Did you catch a fish? Oh, fuck all, but you know, I learned an important lesson today. There's no guarantees in life. Not so bad. We live in hope of a better tomorrow.
Despite my initial frustration at not getting a catch, I gained valuable insight on how to live a more present life. It gave me a new perspective on enjoying what is right in front of me. I started reading instead of going on my phone all the time. It was harder, but certainly more rewarding. I appreciated the view from my back garden instead of looking at Instagram reels. It was like a moving painting. We went out fishing again, this time for pike at a different location. We arranged to meet with Steve, who creates YouTube videos documenting his fishing trips.
Hopefully it's a nice day. I think there's a good chance of getting something today, so hopefully. Beautiful like this little spot. Class. You've been fishing long then, have you?
Been fishing probably since I'm 44 now, so probably been fishing 30 odd years. Had a break for about 12 years where I didn't do much fishing at all.
Okay.
Probably about 12, 13 years when family and kids came along, and that kind of took over things. Yeah, but I started fishing when I was about 8 or 9. Was the fourth time I ever caught a fish on a rod and line.
Class.
And before that, I kind of always had a fascination with water, and my granddad took me fishing down. One of the things I found before, or whatever, the first fish I ever caught was in the jam jar trap.
Oh, class.
So you sit in the jam jar and you put the lid on and you cut like an X in the jam jar, put some bread in it, tie a bit of string around the jam jar, close it and put it in, little streams and stuff. You catch gudgeon and minnow, sticklebacks and stuff like that. So
Class.
that's where I used to start. I used to love catching them and frogs and tadpoles and all that sort of stuff. So I always had a fascination with getting into ponds and water, and when I used to go to the beach exploring rock pools and trying to find fish in rock pools and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got my first rod and reel when I was about 8 or 9. My granddad bought it from me, and I was fishing a place in Dublin called the River Dodder. So any clubs that are listening or know about it, they know the River Dodder. And that's where I went fishing for the first time, and the first fish I ever caught was a brown trout. And then so as the saying goes, I was hooked.
It's a lot more high tech now.
Yeah, so like there's probably some purists, if there's some purists looking at your thing saying, going, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, this is not fishing.
Yeah.
For what I do, I have the YouTube channel, and I do fish a lot of different venues. So when I come to a lake like this before, this is the second time I've been on this particular lake, but when I came here the first time, I wouldn't know what the depths are, what the things are.
Yeah.
And as I was showing you there earlier on about feature finding, so you need to know where the features are on the lake, otherwise you just cast it into the lake. So feature finding is a big thing when you come to a lake. So I use the technology. We have a thing called a deeper, which is a sonar reader, and it'll give me depths, and it gives you it's a fish. They call it a fish finder, but you know, I don't really use it for them purposes. You will see the odd fish on it, but it's not really used for that. So it's more for feature finding and finding things like that. Again, I have the bait bow here, so that allows me to scan stuff a lot quicker. So instead of me casting around and disturbing the swims and stuff, I like to get in, I'll put the bait boat out, put the deeper on the bait boat, and then I'll be able to scan the whole area where I'm fishing, map it all out, and then I have it mapped on my head and on the things where, okay, I'm going to put a bait here, I'm going to put a bait here, there's a drop off here, there's a weed bed here, I need to stay away from there, or I need to put it in the middle of the weed bed sometimes. So it depends on what you're fishing for. So today we're fishing for pike. Pike are predatory species, so we're using dead baits, sometimes sea baits. So a lot of sea baits would work well for pike, as well as freshwater baits. So we're using, on this rod I have a smelt, and on that rod there we have a lamprey. So I found that these are kind of the two of my most popular baits, or the ones, my go-to baits anyway. And then what's most important for me then, and what I try to get across even to younger anglers, and what I push a lot on my channel, is fish welfare then when you get them onto the bank. My advice to younger anglers, if they're coming out with someone, is to go with someone experienced that's done it before, because when you're handling the pike, they have got sharp teeth, they've got kind of sharp bits around their gills and stuff like that. You'll see if we do actually eventually hook a fish, that we call what's chinning out the fish. So bring it into here, you can either use a landing net or you can chin the fish out, and you kind of put your hand underneath their gill rakers, but you have to be very careful that you don't actually hit their gills, because that could cause some damage.
Still no fish. And they're not taking our bait. So I've turned to some alternative fishing methods here to see if I can try and lure them out.
Across the water, we spotted another fisherman who was reeling them in like a madman. We decided to go over and ask him for some tips, but just before we got ready to leave, it seemed as though dangling my sausage over the water had worked.
Breaking the rules. That's pretty punk rock, isn't it? Rock, you well? You alright? Rob, what's the name?
Paul.
Paul, nice to meet you. The cameraman.
Alright, mate.
Yeah.
Hope you aren't over to see me catching fish, because they've switched off.
Have they?
Aye.
That's funny, because we'd seen you catching loads and we were catching nothing all morning.
I'd 4 in a row, and I just put the bait out and I walked back.
Yeah.
And the last one, I missed the last one, but they're all smallish, you know.
Aye. Well, we had just caught them there, so maybe they've moved over to the R end. They've caught on
No,
your
I think
tricks.
they're everywhere. It's just they're very finicky at the moment.
Yeah.
You know? They're all small. Okay, for them, addicted to fishing.
Yeah. How long have you been fishing for?
Seriously, about 15 years now.
15 years,
I love my boat fishing.
Yeah.
Because you can move if, like, no way you use over there catching fish. Me and the wee mate Stephen, we go out, sit somewhere for an hour and a half, don't catch.
No good,
you
move on now,
move in,
fast.
you just don't, you can trawl, chuck lures.
Aye. I'm sure it's good crack just getting out in the boat as well.
We go down to Loch Earn and see some of the sights. We like 2 years ago we were down and it was snowing. But the snow had stopped. Everywhere was white. We're going towards the side. We'll see something in the distance. So went up and it was 3 deer swimming from the lake. Excuse me, who sees that?
Hello.
If you love the outdoors.
Yeah, you just see nature.
Nature at
thing,
its best. Like, and we're down at another wee lake and we had seen like, I mean, what? And I seen the reeds moving. Next minute, big otter came up. And here's me, look at that. Then we'll see a lot of foxes when you're out. No cubs.
Yeah.
Out there playing like dogs, and you swore that they're.
That's
If you
brilliant.
went over, tell me, come near you.
Yeah.
I was down in the lake in West Coast, and it was on my own. And I seen 2 eyes. It was getting dark. Like, what the hell's that? I phoned him and he says, it's like hopping. Here's me. He says, it wouldn't be a rabbit. Rabbits wouldn't be pitch black. Eventually, it came closer and closer and closer. It was a fox with a bad leg. See, at the end of that night, I had it feeding off my foot,
Looking after it? Oh.
feeding it dead fish. I got up the next morning, the belly, unzipped the belly, it was laying there like a dog outside. And then 2 weeks later, we went down, me and a few of the mates went down. He says, what's these foxes? What happened? As soon as it got dark, there's 2 this time. And then we heard a van or a truck coming in, and they scattered. Next minute, there's a truck with 4 shotguns, about hunting foxes. So the fox knew the noise.
Yeah.
So they went out to get the foxes and came back about 2 hours later. And I looked, no. See, as soon as they went away, the foxes came back. It's unbelievable.
Cottoned on to them.
It's unbelievable the stuff you see when you're out fishing.
Yeah.
But this here is fishing.
No, it's nice. It's very peaceful.
It's relaxing and it's good for the head.
Oh, 100%. That's sort of why we're sort of trying to get out and do this. It's sort of, you know, it's the opposite of how most people live their lives nowadays.
See the ones in work, they say to me, you're mad. Says, most normal fellas have, say, like Playboy in their van, we have Egg and Predator.
Yeah.
So what? You like my fishing?
Yeah.
And I just love it. Like, it just gets me away from all the madness in the world.
Is there any particular flavour that the pike like? Or?
I don't know, at the minute I'm trying these ones. This one is called Jurassic Juice. So this, excuse me, it's a predator attractant, so it's like, it absolutely stinks. You don't have smelly vision, but that absolutely wafts. Yeah, take away for this, have a look.
Oh, that's not bad. It's just like a tin of mackerel.
Stinks to me, no, that's absolutely disgusting. For a fisherman, I don't have a strong stomach.
Day. Caught a couple of fish. Could have done better. What do you think, Danny?
I mean, 2 pike. A lot of missed opportunities, but 2 pike.
Yeah, good few got away, but like today's definitely better than the last day, like for sure. So like I'm pretty happy. Caught a couple good fish. Pretty fun, pretty relaxing. I've been having a good time.
I had accomplished what I had set out to do. I had escaped from the grasp of the billionaire tech CEOs, even if just for a little while. I no longer felt like a mindless consumer. I felt alive.